In the previous videos, we discussed the first three steps: the research problem, research design and methodology, and also the theory and hypotheses. They are necessary for you to come up with a research proposal. Now, the next step in the research activity has something to do with the data. We must now collect our data, but before we collect, we must determine who and where to collect our data. Who will mean the respondents, and where would mean the locale or the place. The second question is actually easy. You just have to know where you want to conduct your study and where to find the right people to respond to the data collection questions. So say for example, you want to know about the different teaching styles of physics professors, then your place would be schools where there are physics professors. Thus, the determination of the where of your study actually depends on you, the researcher. Now, the trickier part is finding the who, or finding the respondents. There are actually different ways of determining the respondents of your study, but one of the most common is by undergoing the process of sampling. Sampling refers to the process of choosing a part of the population you want to study. So basically, sampling is done so that you can choose appropriate representative that can help you make generalization up to a certain point in your research. This is more important in quantitative research. Generally, there are two types of sampling. You have the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. Probability sampling tries to come up with random samples. It basically tries to use statistical methods to get random samples. Probability sampling assures that there's an equal chance for every member of the population to represent that population. Some examples of probability sampling would be simple random sampling and stratified random sampling. Now, the second one, which is non-probability sampling, it doesn't have the characteristic of giving an equal chance to all the members of the population. Also, it doesn't use statistical method to get or choose the samples. One method of non-probability sampling is convenience sampling. From the word itself, convenience. It is done in a way that whoever comes as a convenient sample is considered as a respondent. Therefore, convenience sampling or non-probability sampling in general it has a lesser chance of coming up with a general representation of the population. So basically, probability sampling and non-probability sampling would lead you to coming up with a set of samples that you can use in your study. However, if your study requires that you get a representative sample of the population, then you'd better go for the probability sampling. Otherwise, you go for the non-probability sampling. But for the quantitative research, it is most common to use probability sampling. Now, once you're done identifying the who and the where of your study, like you already know who the respondents are and where to find them, the next one is for you to collect the data. Again, the nature of your research will tell you how you would collect the data. In this part, you have to be cautious because you have to make sure that the data that you will collect are relevant to your study. That means that the next step is data presentation, interpretation, and analysis.